welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk, our last episode in our little Cincinnati excursion. And this one is going to be Sandyland Acres. So I didn't know this place existed until I was trying to figure out what places were to go. The only place we really knew was Dent, and then I found Wilmington Haunted Hollow, which is funny because Kim had actually mentioned that one not long ago about it's a bus ride through the woods, a bus with its top cut off.
Yeah.
So if that sounds interesting to you, go check out that review. The one for the Dent Schoolhouse is also up. And now you're watching this one, which is for Sandyland Acres, which is only 30-minute drive from Dent.
Yeah, and it's actually in Kentucky.
Yeah, it is in Kentucky. So this one is in Kentucky. So this one is kind of in the middle of nowhere. We had to drive on a crazy, windy-ass road to get here because it is on a farm. And man, we pulled up, we saw the line, and we were like, kill me.
Yeah.
Well, we've already drove here, so we're going to do it. This place does not offer fast passes, which makes me sad. Talk about that more in value, but yeah. So it is a haunted hayride and then a haunted barn is what this place offers. Mm-hmm. The hayride, of course, is the thing that they advertise the most. Yeah, and I think it's been open for quite a while. I don't know the exact amount of time, but it's been open for a while. Yeah. That being said, we're just going to go ahead and get right into the review, which, of course, as always, means we need to refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Alright, so as always, we are going to start off with sets and props. So when you first pull out, now unfortunately for me, I was at the front of the hayride, meaning that my back was facing everything, so I couldn't really see anything until, we were there. The worst spot to sit at, and of course, that's where I get set at after waiting 2 hours for this haunted hayride. But you're greeted with some pretty cool, Home Depot skeletons.
Yeah, they were, kind of made into, pumpkin people.
Yeah.
And they were lit up and stuff like
Chests
that.
were, on fire looking.
Yeah,
Cool.
those were really cool. So you go into this, cool little corn area, with that. And, they had some, little, towns set up and... some little facades and stuff like that. Most of the scenes, though, were movie themes.
Yeah, most of them are movie themes. So there was, there was a clown scene. I think that was one of the few that wasn't there? Yeah, there was a clown scene.
Yeah,
it was one of the first ones.
Yeah, and then there was also a hillbilly family scene, but everything else was kind of themed towards movies. Turn a corner, there's a street sign that says Elm Street.
There was something that was supposed to, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but, Freddy, of course, was there, so it's supposed to be, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so there was a little camping area for that.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it's a Black Phone scene. I guess we're talking about the actors, but I don't know if it was a scene from the Black Phone, but I found it fun that was there.
Yeah, because he kind of just came out of a little building, a little shack kind of thing, and he was dressed up like the Grabber, and
but yeah, it had a fair amount of pyrotechnics in that. There were a couple scenes where they'd have barrels that would shoot fire up, and there was an archway thing you drove through. There were a couple chase scenes. One was a truck. And it would kind of go to both sides because there was a fairly open part of the cornfield thing that you were driving through. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one where a semi chased you.
Yes.
Probably our favorite, I don't even know if you want to call it a scene, maybe it goes in actors, but we're just going to talk about it here, is because it involves, I guess, sets and props. I don't know. There was a Sleepy Hollow scene.
Yeah.
So there was a headless horseman actually riding a horse, and whoever was riding this horse must have been very skilled at it, because he would have the horse come right up to you. There was even a bridge where he rode the horse up to, and it was clippity clopping on there because it was a live horse. Kim didn't even notice it at first and kind of turned around and was like, oh, it's a horse.
Yeah, I'm like, what's everybody looking at? And I look over and I'm like, oh, there's an actual horse.
Yeah.
So that was actually really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Then there's the very last scene, there's this building you drive through that's supposed to have 3 movie scenes. One just wasn't working.
Yeah.
Just nothing happened. We drove right past it. And then there was I guess it was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene.
That's what I got from it, because I think it was set up to be Texas Chainsaw, because it had the sliding door. If you're familiar with Texas Chainsaw, there's the infamous scene where he pulls open the sliding door and grabs the girl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a sliding door, but Leatherface didn't come out. It was this little tiny girl with a chainsaw.
Yeah, so that was strange. And then there was like a Jason scene at the end, which also didn't make much sense. Yeah, the Hayride, there are so many areas that, I mean, instead of being just a chase scene, like, there didn't need to be 2 chase scenes. Like, maybe add some more scenes.
Yeah.
The Hayride is pretty short, which I guess we'll talk more about in value, but it did not go on for very long. Yeah, and then we went through the haunted house, the haunted barn. It was a lot of dark hallways. There were some scenes in there. It was like, there was no consistent theme. I don't know. There's like a little forest, a clown room, a claustrophobia tunnel, a vortex tunnel. Nothing that I really remember that well. Is like, that was cool. Like nothing really super stood out to me.
No.
There was a room with like a big wonky floor.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
like. All I really remember from the haunted house was there was a lot of dark hallways.
Yeah, there was a lot of dark hallways. And there were scenes, but nothing really stood out. Nothing I haven't seen anywhere else. Yeah. So for sets and props, we gave it a 7. The Hayride is definitely the standout, but there just needs to be more in that Hayride.
Yeah.
There just needed to be more. And yeah, some of the stuff just was kind of, especially like the building, a lot of those scenes were just very rudimentarily made.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't feel detailed enough. Nothing was like that interactive. Yeah.
I mean, they did get up on the wagon and stuff like that, but it just didn't seem like...
the scene itself, so, the scenes themselves were that, like, I mean, like, there's the pyrotechnics, but they were just, like, be there. Like, we'd just be like, oh, there's these barrels are going to shoot fire, but it didn't really seem to, like, make that much sense with, like, the scene that was happening.
Tie in. Yeah, it didn't really tie in together.
Yeah, so most of the sets just felt very static.
Mm-hmm.
So now we will talk about actors. There was an okay amount on the Hayride. None of them really did too much. A lot of them just kind of stood there. There were these people that were like in the cornfield that I think just shot blanks. That did scare the heck out of me. Because, I mean, it's a loud noise. Of course it did, and it made my ears ring. There was another loud noise later on. Someone shot like a shotgun.
Yeah, there was the hillbilly scene, and somebody had a shotgun and shot that, and that was really loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, the clowns got on there. They didn't do a whole lot. They just got on there and were clowns. No one really talked much. And like, there's even some that would like jump out. They'd be on the side of the hay wagon, but then they wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, they would just jump, and
they could have very easily like scared someone, but they didn't scream. They just would stand there, and then just kind of jump off.
Yeah, they didn't scream. They didn't growl. Anything. They were just there, and it was just like,
it's like, do something.
Do something.
Because like, it's hard to do scares on Hayride a lot of times. So like, at least be interactive and have dialogue. And there just wasn't much of that. And again, maybe it was just our night, but. And like Kim was saying, there was the black phone guy. He had a little belt in his hand. He did say something to someone, but I couldn't hear what he said.
I think he asked if he was a naughty boy.
Maybe. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear him, but yeah. Best actor was still Sleepy Hollow guy, just because of how well we controlled that horse and how close he got, and it was just eerie and cool. That was my favorite actor interaction even though he didn't speak, because I mean, he doesn't. He has no head. It would have been cool to see him have a pumpkin in his hand, but I do understand he's literally controlling a live horse, so that's fine. It'd probably be a little hard to you might need more than one hand for that. But yeah, and then there was some interaction with the actors at the end. So yeah, Leatherface was a girl. Mm-hmm. In what we assume was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene. Yeah,
well, I thought she was kind of dressed. She kind of reminded me of Tiffany from Child's Play, the way she had like a dress on and a leather jacket.
Maybe, I don't know.
It was just kind of weird, like the way she was dressed.
Maybe it was like an Evil Dead vibe, the remake, because that's. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe it was just whatever it was.
Maybe they just had somebody call off and they're like, let's put somebody in there with a chain that can control a chainsaw. And she's like, I can do it.
I will say I did like seeing, because I don't know if I've come to think of it. I can't think of another haunt I've been to where there's been a female chainsaw actor.
No, besides like HHN, no, I've never really seen very many female
almost
chainsaws.
Always like big burly men, so I kind of did like the fact that she had a chainsaw. Mm-hmm. That was cool. It didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I did like that she had that. And then and then the last scene on the Hayride again, there was Jason. He like killed her, and then he jumped on the Hayride and kind of looked at us for a minute, and then he kind of left. That was pretty much all there was there. And then you get into the house, and there were a couple.
Yeah.
I didn't get any scares. There was a couple in front of us. They might have got one or two. But there wasn't many actors in there at all.
Yeah,
And again,
no.
maybe it was later at the night, because again, we were in line for like 2 hours. But yeah, actors, there just wasn't many, and a lot of them just didn't do much when there were some. But again, like, it wasn't terrible. Some of them were good on the Hayride. Yeah, we gave actors a 6.
So that moves us on to scare factor. This, honestly, it wasn't all that scary. I think it would be a good, if you wanted to take like a family or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, especially for the Hayride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a family-oriented like affair.
I would highly suggest getting there early, though, because
yes.
my goodness, we waited 2 hours because they don't have
Yeah.
any kind of fast pass or VIP or anything. It's cash at the door. They don't have time ticketing or anything like that. And it was a long time waiting and not getting much scare out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't, which, I mean, it's okay for something to not be super scary, but, like, the scenes weren't detailed enough to warrant it, and the actors' interaction was not much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, scare factor, this is definitely a more family-friendly haunt. Yeah, we give it a 5. It's not real scary, so, I mean, it might be a good one for, like, to take your kids to, like, for a first-time, like, haunted experience, like the Hayride. And even maybe the house, because good way to introduce them to a haunted house.
Yeah, and we did see a lot of, like, younger kids.
Yes,
there.
there was.
There was a lot of younger kids.
So many teenagers. There are some really weird, by the way, interactions that happened while we were in line for these 2 hours. Like kids getting airdropped things that shouldn't be airdropped to children by like teenagers or adults. I don't even know.
Yeah, that
One
was
guy
weird.
was trying to like hit on the other person, and that same guy like looked at Kim and was like just saying weird things to her just randomly, and I'm like, this is another. Well, yeah,
It was strange.
yeah,
It was really strange.
yeah. I don't know if did we say we gave scare factor a 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're moving to value. So yeah, the Hayride is only 15 minutes long, so pretty short for a Hayride.
Yeah.
And I think it was even a little bit shorter than that because I started the timer on my watch a little bit before we started going because I thought we were going, but we didn't go yet. So it probably was even a tiny bit less than that. Because in like the whole end section, there's probably a good 1 to 2 minutes where you're just kind of driving around somebody's like trailer, someone that lives there, and then they drop you off.
Yeah.
So I would say you're probably only getting like 12 minutes of actual like stuff happening on the Hayride, which is really short for a Hayride, I think.
Very short,
And the house I timed it at, I think it was 4 minutes. So it was like, somewhere 3 to 5 minutes. We didn't go through real fast, but we were as somebody else. It's $25 for a combo ticket, $15 for just the Hayride, $12 for the barn. I highly recommend if you want to do this place to just do the Hayride. It's not expensive though, I will say. $15 for the Hayride. I mean, it is cheap and it is short, but I mean, at least it's cheap.
Yeah.
And as she said earlier, cash only. But man, I really wish they had a fast pass option.
Right.
Like, charge $10 more. I don't know, but yeah, because again, all the weird interactions we have with people. That's one of the reasons also we like fast passes. Is not even just to skip the line, but just like, I don't want to interact with like most general public. If we're being honest, like most people suck.
Yeah.
Like, and I am also tired of hearing from like all the haunts and stuff. The actors, what they've been having to put up with this year, really is just shitty. And I just really wish that people would just stop being awful human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you've ever like went to a haunt and been like, oh, I'm just gonna punch an actor, go to hell. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, don't go to some place to pay to be scared and then brutalize someone. I just can't believe, and I mean, I understand a lot of people here were teenagers with the weird stuff we were seeing, but like, we see it with full grown-ass adults too.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. There's my rant there, I guess, but...
I mean, I agree with you because we went to little side note, we went to Kings Island just for the day to ride a few rides and stuff like that, and they actually had a sign up saying that when you go to the haunt at night, you are only allowed a bag this big because people are bringing in full on freaking weapons
Yeah.
to beat up the haunt actors and to beat up other people. And it's like, don't do that. Why?
Yeah,
There's no reason for it.
I don't know why it's been like getting worse and worse, but I've been hearing it from actors and other haunts. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Back to value, though. I mean, I think that it's decent value. I just wish that the haunt itself was a bit better and a bit longer. But I mean, $15 for a hayride. I mean, that's pretty cheap, even if it is short. But I could not advise anybody to wait more than an hour for this.
No.
Like what we waited, just simply wasn't quite worth the wait. Not many things are, though, to be fair. But yeah, value was decent, though. We gave it a 7.5. It would be higher, of course, if the traction overall was better. So overall thoughts on just the traction as a whole, gave it a 6.75. Some parts are above average. Some parts are what I would consider to be bad. Like the haunted house portion, I just don't think that enough care and time went into that. No. And I understand that it's in a barn, but like maybe just stop the house and put more resources into making more scenes for the hayride and making it a little bit longer. Because again, they don't even really need to add length as far as like the path that the tractor travels. Just add more scenes and stop more.
Yes.
Because there was just so much space where you're just driving through a field and there's a semi behind you, but we already got chased by a cool horse guy. We already got chased by a truck.
Yeah.
We don't really need another chase sequence. Like, add a couple scenes in there somewhere. I mean, maybe it's impossible from the location. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I would say for this. If you're in the area and want a hayride to check out to or something for younger kids, check it out. Otherwise, there's so many haunts in the area, I would probably recommend going to something like USS Nightmare, which we have reviewed from a couple years ago. Something like that, if you're more of a haunt enthusiast.
Yes.
But yeah, that being said, make sure to check out our merch line. We have cool like shirts and hoodies and crap and stuff like that. You can get, it says Haunt Talk on the front. I'm not wearing it now, but I'm wearing it like the past couple videos. It has our little pumpkins on and it's on the screen right now. Also check out our Patreon if you want to help support us that way. You get fun little gifts and stuff, help support us. Also leave a super thanks if you want to leave us a tip to keep making videos like this. Let us know where you'd like to go. Let us know if you've been here and what you thought of this haunt. Did you have a better experience than us? A worse experience? The same experience? Let us know. And yeah, let us know other places you would like us to go. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.